What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another deck profile here on TCG University for the card game UniVersus. My name's Tam, and today I'm going to be showing you Tyler's Van Helsing deck that he played for this week's Campus Championship. Let's jump into it. All right, so Van Helsing. Van Helsing's a really rad character. She draws a ton of cards late in the chain. She makes her attacks incredibly large. And this deck is being played under the all symbol, and so it has access to a ton of really good stun attacks. One of the best stun attacks in the game being Ice Dragon Siryu. It's stuns and freezes, which means the cards don't re-ready on my opponent's turn, as well as Van Helsing says commit to draw 3 cards off of it. So not only am I making my opponent skip one of their turns, I am drawing an extra turn. It is not a weapon attack so that Van Helsing's extra damage pops off, but draw 3 to fuel the rest of my deck is good enough to warrant it being in the deck. Up next, we've got Triple Launching Whip Strike. This card is in here almost exclusively for the draw 3. It has Deadlock Stun 3 on it, and so all Van Helsing cares about is that the words Stun 3 exists on the card. This is technically a stun attack, in the same way that something along the lines of Air Ground Smash is a reversal. Just because it is at Deadlock does not mean that it's not on the card, and Van Helsing just cares about it being printed on the card. Up next, we are playing 4 of her attack, Stake Out, that you can find from the DLC. This card is Stun 2, sometimes Stun 4, which means with Van Helsing it's Draw 2, sometimes Draw 4. It and Launching Whip Strike are also attacks. The rest of the attacks besides the Ice Dragon are going to be weapons. And so this thing gets absolutely massive, and with Van Helsing it can get even bigger. Very strong card out the gate. I highly recommend you picking up the Grim Fairy Tale DLC if you haven't. Up next, the rest of the attacks are not stun attacks because we only get to draw off of Van Helsing 1 time. And so we're playing 4 Scarlet Meteor. This card is just one of the most perfect utility cards in the entire game. Destroy a foundation to build in either an asset or another foundation, so you can either just double use foundations. It also is like a 5 for 5 with powerful 4 breaker 2, gets extra damage off of Van Helsing. Like, it's just all around just an amazing card. You got to pick 4 of these guys up. Up next, a bit of a flow card. We've got 4 Syndicate Slice. This card just exists in the card pool in order to give extra damage off of Van Helsing's ability, as well as making itself not count towards progressive because you get +1 to your check. And so the next time that you play something, it's basically saying this card doesn't count towards progressive. I absolutely love this card. One of my favorite in the game, and its stats are really solid. So 4/3, 3 high for 4 on a 1 mid block. Just really solid stats. Just an all around. It's good as a poke or as like a flow to finish card. And the last attack we're playing Double Crisplat. This card is here exclusively for flow. Commit a foundation. The next card I played, Norse progressive. So you can play your stakeouts very late in the chain and make them absolutely massive with Van Helsing's ability. You can play your meteors on a 5 and make it absolutely massive with a powerful or a Van Helsing. This card's just a combo extender, and so we could easily be playing more of it, but we don't need to see it all the time. We don't need to see it honestly like once on a kill turn. On our assets and actions, we're playing Double Fiddlesticks. Our character says draw X cards, and so being able to smack them with an attack, stack it from momentum on the top of our deck, and then use our character to commit and then draw the card back is exceptional. And so this card just lets us stack once per turn, and then we can destroy our own foundations in order to activate the ability to not only just I'll every day trade a foundation for an attack that'll kill you, as well as it gets me out of Deadlock, which is important for the all symbol because it doesn't have a ton of Deadlock pressure itself. Up next, we're playing Double Black Bear Diner. This card works in the same style as a Meteor, of letting us reset a foundation. You remove that foundation from the game, and then it comes back. And so if you remove a committed foundation, it will come back and it will be ready. And you can also let us unflip foundations. So let's say that we had a foundation that is flipped. We remove it with Black Bear Diner. It gets removed face up, and then when it comes back into the game, it comes in face up. So you can reuse the ability. Very strong card. Not to mention, it is also a weapon randomly. Up next, we're playing 1 Krita Yuga. This card's insane in Van Helsing. You have to build this in off of the Scarlet Meteor, but what this card says is instead of draw X, it's now draw X +2. We do have a 3 damage attack inside of the stakeout, and so we do get to use the other ability at least once. But this card just says that as opposed to like drawing 5 off of my Ice Dragons, I'm now drawing 5. Commit a card, draw 5 is the dream. And so we have a singular off symbol Krita Yuga. And the last card we're playing is one Psychic Spirit Glass. The last ability I haven't mentioned on Van Helsing is she actually changes the zones of the attack whenever she discards. And so saying that, looking at my opponent's hand and seeing that they only have a singular low block, you get rid of that low block with Psychic Spirit Glass, and then you just turn all your attacks into the low zone. They not only they're getting damage, but they're changing zones, and now my opponent can't block, and so I don't have to play a huge strain because I know you can't block anything. On to our actions, we're playing 4 Let's Cut Loose. This card says you find a perfect block, or you can build a card down. It checks a 6. Card's absolutely fantastic. Could be a 4 or a 3 of, depending on how you're feeling and how much you like seeing Let's Cut Loose in your hand. Onto our our foundations, our aggressive foundations. We're playing 4 Coiling Contempt. Once we're at Desperation, my weapons attack all just get a free +1 damage, as well as I can commit in order to give it +3 damage. Excuse me. It also says -2 damage, which is fine, and it's also a Breaker 2 card, which is really good. But the main reason that I want to play it is at Desperation. This is just +4 free damage, not to mention the damage off of Van Helsing. Up next, we're playing triple the OG Ninja. The original Mecha Ninja just says check a thing for plus speed or damage. Van Helsing being able to change my zones, it's possible I can start as a mid attack, let's say, and then I'll check for mid, discard a card off of Van Helsing to change the zone to high, and then check again for high. So this card by itself could just be +1/+1 off of you discarding a card, getting extra damage, changing your zones, mixing up your opponent, as well as it's a bit of a combo extender. I can play it into my card pool, respond with it, and say that my Curse Splat is easier to play, and then I'll commit a different foundation and then finish it off with a Stakeout or a Meteor. Just a fantastic combo extender. Up next, we've got triple Key to Humanity's Freedom. I want to put this in the aggressive foundation just because it says if I have an asset, a free +2 damage twice per turn. This is really good. It's really solid. As well as randomly, I can remove this and then snag an asset such as Fiddlesticks or Black Bear or Krita Yuga if I need to finish stunning you out in order to get to my in order to find my kill turn or even save myself defensively. On to some flow. We've got One of Sun's Love as my first form. Commit this foundation, draw a card, play my Ice Dragon, commit this, draw more, become essentially like a 10-hander on the turn just for committing 2 cards. It's super worth it. Our character says draw X, and so having that over till you die. This is just the foundation version of Fiddlesticks, whereas it stacks for momentum. I just flip and stack from my discard pile and then commit my character and then draw those cards up. And with Black Bear Diner, I can take in bounce this out and then bounce the face down out and then bring it back in. And I'll always have, if I have at least 1 attack, I have 2 attacks. Up next, I've got triple Day Without Training. It's just a one-off copy of Van Helsing. Van Helsing says commit to draw. This says flip to draw if I have an asset, or I can flip and discard 1, draw 1. Sometimes I want some of these cards inside my discard pile. Up next, flow-wise, we've got 4 Stolen Sword. This card is in here exclusively, so as I'm drawing additional cards, I get to build one of these weapon foundations like Coiling Contempt or Stolen Sword into my card pool, and then it instantly builds back down. And so I'm using the resources that I'm getting from committing my character and drawing instantly. I'm getting an instant payout for it. The commit ability is also not terrible in my stun character. Up next, we're playing triple Sense of Morals. This card just doesn't count as progressive difficulty. It stops my opponent from committing out my stuff, or I can keep re-readying things. This card's really, really scary under the all symbol because of some other cards that we have inside the deck, which we'll get to. Next, we've got double Daughter of the Bladed Rod. This is kind of like the weird version of Not Over Till You Die. Daughter of the Bladed Rod lets my discard the top 3 and lets my opponent pick the one that they want discarded and then stack the other 2. So if I've got a couple of attacks up there, I know that they're there. I can then Van Helsing, or I know that I need to. I have an attack in 2 foundations. Well, my opponent's probably not going to give me that attack on my character that says draw X, and so I just know that I'm going to be passing my next 2 checks. I think this card is fine. I'm not positive it needs to be in the deck, though. I think it's just personal flavor. Up next, we've got Double True Identity. What a fantastic card to blow up with Meteor, to bring back in with Black Bear Diner, or to re-ready with Sense of Morals if it gets committed. This card is just fantastic, and because of how much we're drawing off of Van Helsing, I can throw out these big, huge strings. Speaking of readying things, we've also got Marrying Age. I think this card is necessary inside of any deck under these three symbols that want to commit cards. It just says after my opponent readies a card in their staging area, which with Sense of Morals, that is unbelievably easy to do. I get to ready one, and if I can't ready one, I can just pop a card down from my hand. Now, here's the big thing. You ready? This card says ready one card. If my opponent readies a card, I can ready a card in my staging area. It says card, so I can ready my character up. Wowzers. Just really, really strong. This could say like draw a million cards or ready up my my True Identity or whatever I want it to be. On to some defense, we're playing Triple Feifei. This card just says flip -3 speed. I can bounce it out with Black Bear and then have this constant over and over again. Because of how much I'm drawing cards, being able to build out a couple foundations and then get some solid blocks is decent. And then my last card is Triple Profane Sanctuary. After my opponent plays a breaker ability, I can flip and cancel it. I'm trying to play all these big, huge attack strings, and sometimes breaker 1, breaker 2, the Lord knows breaker 3 ends turns, and so I need to be able to just stop that on honestly just a really good spam card. And so there you have it. There is Tyler's Van Helsing deck that he played for this week's Campus Championship. If you like this deck and you want to see more, make sure you check out the matches that the deck played in. You can find them out on the channel. And talk to Tyler by going out to Patreon, patreon.com/TCG University. Sub out there at the $1 level, get access to our Discord, and it's a direct line to Tyler to talk about, not just to him, but to anybody at TCGU, cast or faculty or students about your really cool Van Helsing deck. So with that, thank you much for watching and stay learned.